Hello Facebook, hello YouTube. It is Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com, and I have today my big reveal. So 2 weeks ago, well actually no, it started 12 months ago, 2nd of December 2017, I was running my Mind, Body, Spirit, Energy Fest workshop, which I've been running now, well, this will be year number 8 this year, and had the thought, just the random kind of crazy thought, that it would be really nice to maybe have some of my own cards in the room for the 2018 Mind, Body, Spirit, Energy Fest workshop. So 2 weeks ago, Saturday morning, chatting to a friend, and I'm, talking to her about, what are we going to do, how are we going to plan it, etc., etc. And she says, I'm sending my stuff off to the printers today. And that's when I said, oh, you know what, I really wanted to have cards this year. She says, well, if you can get me the cards by Monday morning, I can get them printed for you. So put down the phone, and I'm like, oh, it's not enough time. It's Saturday now, it's Saturday afternoon. By the time I have something to eat, it's like, 2, 3 o'clock, no time. And then all of the excuses, running in my head, and they're not even excuses, they're actually valid points. I was like, it will take me months to plan the cards out. I've got to find all the kind of commercial images that I can use. Not only have I got to find the images, I've got to actually write the cards. I've got to decide what the cards are about. I've got to come up with words for the cards. I've got to design the deck. And as I thought about everything, I was like, there's no way I can get that done in 2 days. That is just complete madness. So I'm sat there, and then I've got what I call the limitless part of my brain, which says, okay, I hear you. I acknowledge the truth of the situation. Everything you've said is absolutely true. And the only way to find out if you can do it is to do it. So clear the schedule. It's Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday. You didn't have big plans. So clear the schedule, forego, my Sunday afternoon fix of Columbo, because I do like a bit of Columbo on a Sunday afternoon, and just get your head down. And the only thing you've got to lose is 2 days of your life. And the worst that can happen is it just doesn't get done in time. And if we scale it back thereafter, what could also be the outcome is that, what will be the outcome is that you are 2 days closer to your outcome of creating these cards, and it's a kickstart for next year. So I'm like, okay, you win. So rolled up my sleeves, just got my head down, and at 10:47 p.m. on the Sunday night, emailed the cards, and some of which you can see here on the screen in terms of just the template, emailed the cards over to the print company. It was like, whoa. Haven't actually seen the cards yet, but they were delivered this morning. So at about 11 a.m. it's now 4:30 p.m. So I've been very patient, but I thought, for those of you who like this sort of stuff and maybe partake in Tarot Tuesday, which are free angel tarot card readings that I do every single month. I've been doing those since October 2000 now. So for anyone who would like a reading, you can have a free reading every single month, and that happens in my membership group. But I know I've got people who like Tarot Tuesday and enjoy the cards and the readings. So I thought I would do the unveiling here, and you can see them with me. So let's go. Oh my God. Okay, she's wrapped them very well. Thank you very much. The lovely Gina Bat. Oh, bless her. She's put them in a little organza case as well. So that's them in terms of the cards themselves. Hold on a minute. I might blog about this one. Give me a moment. Let's capture the moment. Why don't we? My new cards. Talk amongst yourselves for just a minute while I sort this out. So sweet. Alrighty. Oh my God. And it's a weird thing for those of you who write, for those of you who blog, you will know and send e-newsletters, you'll know the weird phenomenon that you can see something like a gazillion times and it's just like boom. So this might be the moment where I go, oh my God, and see something that I'm not happy about. But okay, so they got the card backing. Okay, might change the font, but this is like the promo deck. So I've just done the little one, you know, about me. It's a little bit about the modalities. She said the text could be bigger, and I see exactly what she means. I would totally make the text bigger next time. That's a little kind of promo of what you've just seen there in terms of what the deck is all about. And all right, so let me show you some of the cards then. So this is what they look like on the back. I've just kept them very plain in terms of just kind of my logo, and we can have a look for a few of them. So what we got here, gratitude, of course. I'll have a look in a minute. But yeah, so this is what they look like. And my intention is that, you know, in terms of the same way that you'd use the Angel Tarot cards for clarity, ideas, food for thought, etc., etc., you would also use these for that. So let me just look at the ones I've just shown you, because I haven't, this is the first time I would have seen them. Okay, so really wrapping. Feelings, gratitude. I think the conformity one will definitely get people. Cool. Okay. So I mean, in terms of the big images and, you know, the way the pictures have come out, really happy with that. Definitely would make the text bigger. And I might even change the text for a smoother font, but that's something I can look into. But yeah, so let's have a look through a few more before I go. And for those of you who are in the membership group, if you'd like to, because every time I get a new deck, like we did the Banksy deck last month, that was a little bit profound. OMG, that was just crazy. Getting goosebumps now while I think about it. And so with regards to these, if you're up for it, we'll use these for Tarot Tuesday. Had to get the wow in there for those of you in our Magic and Gratitude group. But we'll use this for Tarot Tuesday. For those of you who have done breakthrough coaching sessions, you will know this card very well. But yeah, if you're up for it for Tarot Tuesday, we'll use them for Tarot Tuesday. But yeah, okay. So I would say I am, at first glance, I'm 80% happy. I'm 80% happy, but if you need reading glasses, then you will need your reading glasses to read the text. So I would definitely do that differently next time. This is a prototype deck for me to, sorry, I can just see stuff. I can see stuff on my iPad that I can't actually see here. So I'm just going to have a quick look to see what I'm missing. Give me one sec. So yeah, I would definitely, because this is the prototype deck, so I'm going to have a look through them, see what I spot. Coral says, how do you design them so quickly? Well, Coral, I would definitely say it's a combination of the photo reading mindset, because, you know, as you know, I teach accelerated learning. So it's a combination of the photo reading, of the accelerated learning, to kind of put yourself into that state, which is about then just kind of focus and concentration, getting into that creative space so you can pull forth, does that sound right? So that you can pull forth the ideas and bring them up to fruition. I didn't actually have the time, because I knew I was on a day and a half deadline by the time I'd kind of had a shower and had something to eat. I didn't have time to do any mind mapping, but if you have the luxury of time, you might want to do a mind map just to plan the ideas out. So it was really just getting into, how can I say, I was probably in the same state that I'm in when I'm doing the Angel Tarot card readings. How can I say, to describe how it feels, it's as though you kind of get a download. I'm not analytic. If I was trying to analytically think of it all and plan it all and do it all at the same time, I don't think that would have worked, and I probably would have done about 20 cards. So this was very much a thing of kind of, okay, get yourself into the same state you're in when you do your readings, when you do your coaching, when you do your photo reading, all of that sort of stuff. And then from there, much more creative, much more in flow, much more intuitive. And then as I was thinking about the kind of design and, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to say? What's the point of this? It was just then having those intuitive hits and insights come to the fore while I was in the process of doing it. And then most of the time I would come up with the idea first, and then I would go, okay, what image with that? And there were a few times where I had an image in my head, and I was like, okay, how do I now convey that in terms of what I creating a card around it? But I'd say the majority of it, I'd say a good 70–80% of it was knowing what I wanted to say and then sourcing an image. And then there were a few where it was the other way around. So hope that helps. And again, you know, in terms of the concepts that these were drawn from, it's basically what the principles that I use when I'm coaching. So the things I've been doing, if you're watching this in real time, for the past 18 years, what are some of the ideas, what are some of the thoughts, what are some of the principles that I use that kind of make a big difference in people's lives, and how can I kind of translate and put that into a card and into a message. So I hope that helps in terms of some thoughts and ideas about how it's done. But yeah, it's basically a case of head down, let's get creative, let's get you into that sort of download space, and let's go. Right, I'm just gonna have a little look through the final. Ooh, yeah, this one I think is going to mess with your head as well, the self-identity card. This is I got this is one of the ideas from created a year-long Ignite Your Brilliance program a few years ago, and this card really messes with people's heads in a good way. Okay, the soul. So we've got a few about the soul, and I guess in terms of, you know, when I was thinking about it also in terms of the structure, I thought, well, what is everything I'm about? And it's not just one thing. It's the mind, it's the body, it's the spirit, it's the soul. And of course, because I had the idea at the Mind, Body, Spirit, Energy Fest workshop last year in terms of it would be really cool to have some cards next year, but I thought I'm going to incorporate that. Oh, this is a nice one. I like this one. Manifestation. So the gold hat. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting concept, inherited beliefs. And so the idea will be much like with the angel tarot, you might just be saying, I'd like a message for today, give me something to think about, or maybe there's a particular issue that you wanted guidance on. Oh, this one has seriously saved my life on so many occasions, including like there's some stuff going on at the moment. I'm like, okay, totally need that card. Oh, this is a fun one, you know, but for the one of the ones that centers around the body. Ah, yes. Oh my God. This is one that predates my coaching in terms of the message on the card. And it's something that I got, I was probably early 20s, 23, 24, when this particular idea came to me. So some of it's not just about the coaching, some of the things that have helped me over the years when I look back, just even, you know, pre-personal development, because I had to start strategizing at age 7 in order to survive physically and mentally. And so some of those ideas are incorporated into here as well. And then there's, you know, a couple of, you know, cards that aren't necessarily part of the deck about how to use the deck. Next steps, that should be in the deck. Yeah, so yes, there are, I believe there are something like 48, 49 cards. Coral Jones says, go on, give them a test run, please. I will be giving them a test run. So for those of you on my e-newsletter, what I'm going to do, the same thing I always do whenever I launch a new product, whenever I launch a new service, you guys on my e-newsletter list get a chance to have a play. So I'm going to, you know, get a volunteer from the e-newsletter list. I'll do that next month, because this week I'm gearing up for, you know, the Mind, Body, Spirit, Energy Fest workshop is this Saturday and this Sunday. So I'm going to take the cards to the Mind, Body, Spirit, Energy Fest workshop. We'll use them there, which I think I've got to use them there now, having thought, oh, really nice to have cards for the workshop. So we'll use them there. Next month I'll get a volunteer from my e-newsletter list. I'll do a reading for you using these cards. And of course, for Tarot Tuesday, we'll use them for Tarot Tuesday next month as well. So Tarot Tuesday is the first Tuesday of the month, and that's all happening in the membership group. So let's see, just give them a little bit of a shuffle. Yeah, the finish is all right. So we've gone for matte finish. Alrighty. That is so weird, actually. I say so weird because yesterday, some of you might have seen the post that I put out, because I'm looking at the back of these now, and they're all that, they all just look like that. Yesterday, I just had a deja vu moment, because I'm like, I was sat here yesterday and I saw this vision in my mind. Let me just show you what it was. So I was talking about nostalgia and all the rest of it. One sec. Some of you might not even know what these are. Any guesses before I tip it over? What do you think this is? For those of you watching in real time, feel free to type into the conversation thread what you think those are. But as I was just looking at the back of the cards, I just had a massive deja vu moment. And I was talking about how long I've been running online events. Before most people knew what an online event was, I was already running them. And I was saying that I've been doing them for so long now that when I used to run teleseminars, a man in an unknown location somewhere in the UK would press a record button at the allocated time. So if I said I'm running a webinar, a teleseminar at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, he would be at a console at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. He would press a button which would record my event. And then a couple of weeks later, Corey, you're absolutely right, CDs. A couple of weeks later, I would receive a CD-ROM in the post, which I would then burn onto CDs myself and send them out to the participants. And I was explaining this to someone yesterday. And then I said, I'm pretty sure I've still got the stack of CDs. And so I don't know if you can see those, if I hold it that way, go a bit closer. So basically so what I did is I had produced, I paid to have someone create a stack of branded CDs so that when I was burning them on, I wasn't just, using blank CDs. I was actually, they would receive it, and then there was a space I left where you could write the title of the CD on. And so I was looking at those last night and smiling to myself. Gosh, this one is still sealed. I was looking at them last night and smiling to myself. Hold on. And just now, when I was looking at the cards, they looked exactly the same. I'm like, oh my God, I've seen that before. I'm having a moment of deja vu because I saw that last night. Pretty well sealed up. But yeah, they're still here. So I've got a load left. So a little bit of a deja vu moment there. So what I'll do very quickly then is give them a little shuffle, as you do. I'm glad I got this size though, because I was going to get them slightly bigger. But this size is good for me because I'm not like, I'm not like a Vegas shuffle or anything like that. It's very basic. And let's just pick a card it's the start of the week today if you're watching this in real time. So let's just pick a card I'm going to go with that one. Card for today. Let's see what we got. Next steps. Okay. Well, this is very appropriate. It says, so this one is called Next Steps. I'll show you that. And it says on the card, what can you do to move yourself another step closer to your goal, outcome, or dreams? And that is exactly the conversation that I had with myself 2 weeks ago when I'm like, look, you've got less than 2 days. Can you produce a whole deck of cards from blank screen to finished product this weekend? And that was basically part of the process as well, in terms of, okay, what's the next thing I can do? What's the next thing I can do? What's the next thing I can do? And because, again, the reason I put this one into the deck, it helps to banish procrastination. Because and I remember when I watched the movie The Secret all of those years ago, they were talking about the fact that when you're driving in the dark, you don't necessarily see the whole journey, but you see where your headlights are showing you, and then you see the next bit and the next bit and the next bit. And so it's very similar to that. So this is actually the process, very appropriate. It might just be this, I pulled this one for myself, but very appropriate in terms of, okay, this is my goal, this is my outcome. I guess you could say it was a dream, because I was like, oh, that would be really cool to have my own deck of cards. And then the question was, okay, what can you do to move yourself closer to that? And what I could do is stop finding excuses and looking for the reasons why I couldn't do it, and to just get the heck on with it and do it. So that's that. But I'm gonna put that one back into the deck, and I'm gonna reshuffle, because that might have been a card for me, although it fits perfectly with what we're talking about here. And I'm just going to go, okay, give me a card then that's going to be a really good one. Give me a card that's going to be a good one for, because this is the last week of November. The year has just moved on apace. Oh, Corey Jones says, funnily enough, I was talking about that at the weekend. Very appropriate. Brilliant. I love it. So Corey, it's definitely for me and you. So let's just have a card. Let's see if we've got a message for rounding off this month. What would that be? I'm going to go for that one there. This is so appropriate. For me at least, and several of the people I've been talking to, this one is about nurture. It's called, and the message on this card is, what can you do today to nurture your body? And I've got a whiteboard up there. It's just out of view. It's on the wall in front of me. One of the items on the whiteboard says exercise. So that is written on the list for today. There's been a lot of running around this kind of past couple of days. Got a lovely friend over from America. We went out for dinner on Friday night. We went to the Yes Group 25-year anniversary ball with a lovely 3-course meal on Saturday. Ate out, had hotel breakfast yesterday. Then we had a pub lunch in the afternoon. I'm going into London to meet her tonight. We've already decided we're either going to have fish and chips, because she's, from the United States. We like to do some stuff that's, thought about quintessentially English. So I said we're either going to find a really great fish and chip shop, or we're going to find some nice kebab. And so in terms of body, what's definitely been on, and so with all of the running around, there hasn't really been time for exercise, because it's just been like wall to wall. We're here, we got to meet here, we got to be here, right, the cab's coming this time, meet you at that time. So it's been a little bit frenetic. Oh, she's just messaged me actually. She said, yay, you read my mind. She's not on Facebook Live, this is Messenger. She says, yay, you read my mind, awesome, eat light, and just about to yeah, cool. So we are definitely having kebab or chips tonight. So yeah, so I'd say this one, if you have been in a place and in a space where you maybe haven't been looking after your body, you haven't been kind of particularly nurturing your body, you haven't taken the time out to think about. And actually, weirdly, we had this conversation at dinner, me and Gary Jones. I was talking to we were like a little triad, and I was saying one of the things that really surprises me, but not surprises me, is the fact that people often spend more money looking after their car than they do looking after their body. And a car owner, particularly somebody who relies on their car a lot, because I had this conversation with a friend last week, she's like, but yeah, my car gets me from A to B. I'm like, I totally hear you, and so does your body. The difference being, you are with your body 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year. You can't miss a beat. Whereas your car, you might not be driving your car all the time, and quite frankly, with your car, you can change the wheels, you can change the chassis, you can change the engine, you can change the windscreen, change the interior, you can strip that whole baby down and rebuild it, or you can go, I actually don't want this car anymore, you can get a whole new one. And yes, you can get a liver transplant, a heart transplant, a knee replacement, a hip replacement. Those things are very stressful on the body and pretty traumatic, and hopefully, touch wood, it will never come to that for those of us here. So it's possible, but like the $6 million man, we can rebuild you. However, sometimes there is a lot you can do for yourself so that it doesn't come to that. But even though the body is people's vehicle through their entire life, it is going to be, and I know if you look, study Deepak Chopra, for example, he talks about the fact that the body is renewing itself. So in 12 months time, I'm going to have a completely different body to the one I've got now, because the cells and the bones and everything are being renewed. And essentially, the body you see me sitting in now is a body I'm going to be sitting in if I happen to live to be 150. And so I know kind of when I really started to realize that there were things you could do to nurture your body and your mind, I was like, man, how come everybody isn't investing in this stuff? Because I'm with myself 24 hours a day. I'm with my body 24 hours a day. I'm with my mind 24 hours a day. And so, yeah, it was kind of like so important. And that's the reason why I put this card in, just as a reminder, if it's been a while since you've done something to nurture your body, to look after your body, stretching, jogging, yoga, massage, aromatherapy, even just talking to your body and saying cool stuff, you know, and I know it's going to sound crazy, but I will thank my body. I thanked my ankles the other day on my way back from ballet class, because seriously, if you've ever had a problem with your ankles, trying to be on demi point all day and trying to pirouette, even walking, that's going to be hard. And so I was just, you know, walking back and I was like, I'm really, you know, ankles, thank you so much for supporting me through class tonight, which sounds a bit crazy, but little games that you play with yourself, but even just doing it now. And I would maybe say, pick a part of your body that you are thankful for and appreciative for, and just say it. So it might be your knees, it might be your hips, it might be your back, it might be your spine, for giving you the ability to stand up straight. It might be, if you spend a lot of time on your keyboard, it might be your fingers, you know, thanking your finger for being able to type, whatever it is. Take a moment to truly play that game and thank that part of your body. And one of the things when I got into personal development, they say where your attention goes, energy flows. And so I know one of the things that I'm personally doing when I'm thanking my ankles, for example, is I'm imagining that I'm sending good vibes to that part of my body. And if you're sensitive to energy, there is a likelihood you'll actually feel the energy, you'll feel some kind of change in that part of your body. So I would say, as we round off the month, if it's been a while since you've nurtured your body, choose something that you can do and do it. And as I said, it can be very simple. It doesn't have to be anything major. It's sort of over there. But if you've got any of those, I'll get it 1 second. It looks a little bit like a torture device, but it's really not. But it's like a magnetic roller, a bit like a rolling pin for the body. So it could be if you got, and you might not have this exact one, but you might, you know, you get them in the Body Shop and John Lewis and, you know, home and bath sections where you got the little, you know, the massagers, like sometimes the little rollers or the things that will do your scalp. It could be that just while you're sitting watching TV one day this week, or listening to a kind of a recording, watching YouTube, listening to one of my webinars or teleseminars, you might just get your device, for example. So I could just sit and I could just roll this up and down my thigh while I'm talking to you all, which I am doing now, and just kind of helping with the blood flow and helping with the kind of the circulation. And what I like to do with this one is when I'm standing up, kind of rolling up from the ankles to the calf, and then rolling up from the kind of knee to the thigh, and then from there kind of massaging the stomach. But, you know, really can be really simple. You know, this one, I love it. You can just roll it up and down the arms. If you've got a contraption of sorts and it's been sat there gathering dust, then, you know, pull it out and let's see what you've got. And Coral says, oh my God, I can totally relate. I've been eating nothing but rubbish and no exercise lately. I have an injured knee, so I've become much too sloth-like. Walking has been difficult, and I've recently had to have a steroid injection. I am so sorry to hear that, Coral. And it's one of those things. And the reason I'm just so, how can I say? Oh, well, with my clients, I'm sometimes a little bit bossy about it. The reason being is because I lived for many, many years on the side of the equation where my health was not good. And I realized just what a detrimental effect that had on my life. So you're right, Coral, the whole thing about being able to do things, get out and about and move, you know, for me, part of it was chronic fatigue. So I was sleeping 12 to 15 hours a day just to be able to kind of get through and function. And so the joy I have now at not having that be my state of being is enormous and immense. And I know what it took to get there. And I also know, looking back, that there were things I could have done, I just didn't know to do them, in terms of maintenance, that would help me. So Coral, thank you so much for being so very chatty today. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to close this off for you, Coral, with a quick round of Huna. So we're going to, and what I would just say to you, now with Huna, you guys will know, if you've done my photo reading workshop and we do the Huna session on the Friday night, the belief change session, or if you've done any of my teleseminars and webinars, or if you're in my membership group where we kind of do a lot of this stuff as just kind of bonus sessions, you'll know that there's nothing you particularly need to do with regards to the huna. But one of the things, if you wanted to do Coral, is kind of when I'm doing this, you can just be kind of thinking about your knee. You might play the appreciation game where you just kind of thank your knee for bringing it to your attention, and asking it to kind of work its magic and now start doing the healing. I'm a really big fan. There's a card in here, I'm pretty sure, called Talking to Your Body. And I'm a big fan of talking to the body in terms of body dialogue as well. So you might even just be asking your knee, what's going on here? And is there anything I need to know? Is there anything I need to learn? Is there anything I need to pay attention to? Such as I now start to pay attention, I can have this issue start to resolve itself. And also, I often, you know, when people are ill on Facebook and they post stuff, I often say, I wish you a full and speedy recovery. And speed we like. Full recovery doesn't always go for speed. It goes for what the body and what the neurology needs, which is a little bit annoying when you want things to be sorted out straight away. But if you ask me if I want speed or if I want recovery, if I had to choose one, I'd go for full recovery. And you can still invite the body to do its best to do both. So kind of have a conversation with that. Brilliant. Absolutely. So Coral says you're so right. I went to a weekend seminar and was so tired a lot of the time. And brilliant. And thanks for the reminder. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are most welcome. So definitely have a chat. Definitely, for those of you who are, if you weren't into this stuff, you're probably not even watching this video anyway. Do the thing where you talk to the knee, talk to the joint, and ask if there's anything you need to be aware of. Because when I do this with my clients, they are blown away. Like, we've had full-on conversations with people's liver, and and it's like, it's not stuff they would logically say. But when it's said, they're like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Oh my God, oh my God. And so you will be amazed at what your body will say to you when you're in the right place. So have a play with that as a starter for 10. And I need water. 1 second. And we'll just do a quick round of huna. Okay, Coral, just as a starter, just having a little think about it, the words that I got in my head were, I need more support. You can do with that what you will. Go with what resonates with you with regards to that. Oh, that's a bit okay. So the thing I would say about that, I need more support. A couple of things. I need more flexibility, but not to the point where you're bending over backwards. Again, you will make of that kind of what you will. And also, the message would be that I'm kind of worn out. And you know, when you're tired of something, you're kind of being rubbed the wrong way. It's a bit like that. Alrighty, so anyway, thank you, knees. Thank you, joints. Coral says definitely. Cool. Alrighty, glad that makes sense. Alrighty, so what should we start with? We'll do a little Coral then says, oh my God. Okay, I've got to know what you're oh my godding now about. So keep typing, woman, keep typing, because I've got to know what oh my God is about. Oh my God, yep. Alrighty, so we're gonna start with and we're gonna start with one of my favorite symbols, because this is a really good one for kind of breaking up the energy. And I would also say with regards to that, it feels as though if I were kind of thinking of it in terms, you know, when people talk about the wheel of life, it almost feels like one side of you in terms of, like, if we're thinking of it in terms of body, but it feels like one side of you or one aspect of your life is overworked and overburdened. And therefore that is kind of pressing down on the rest, and it then has a knock-on effect. A bit like if you had a perfect wheel, but one side of it was a little bit pushed in, now the whole system doesn't function smoothly, and so it kind of feels a little bit like that. Coral says, in terms of what I've just said earlier about the talking to her knee, all of it, I've just ended a relationship. Oh my God, I can see why you're oh my godding. Says, I've just ended a relationship because of lack of support, and my boundaries constantly being challenged. It made me feel drained. Totally, absolutely, totally. That's a perfect description of kind of the conversation, if you kind of want to put it that way. And I know for people who aren't into this, the only way to see how this works is to do it and play with it. But I kid you not, when you start being in dialogue, because I'm not with Coral, I'm asking as well, okay, Nee, what's going on? You get the most profound information with regards to, you know, what's kind of going on with people's minds, what's going on with people's bodies. So thank you, Coral, so much for sharing. Okay. Okay, how can I say this? Your knee is a little bit cheeky, and it's kind of saying, have you got the message yet? Because there are times where your body has a message for you, and if you don't get the message, it just, you know, it compounds on itself. And I would say for me that I've learned that one the hard way, let's say with my thyroid issue, where I stuff was going on, I basically stuffed it down, I didn't speak up for myself, I didn't say anything, and I ended up with issues with my thyroid. And so it can be really interesting. So the question here is have you got the message, and what are you going to do about it? And so this is one that Coral, you're being, and then it might resonate with other people, just generally speaking. But this is the invitation here is to go, okay, brilliant. You've got clarity on that in terms of the boundaries, in terms of the lack of support, in terms of feeling drained. You've got clarity now, you've articulated it, and you've seen the connection between those things. The question now is, what are you going to do about it? Part of this is going to be intuitive, part of this is going to be in terms of, you know, in your heart of hearts, and part of it is going to be almost strategic and logical. So it's almost like there are 3 or 4 facets to this thing. No, it's 4, because there's the kind of soul is like, what about me? So I would say sit with this and combine all of those aspects in terms of the practicalities of it. In terms, because oftentimes when you say to people what you're going to do about it, their instinctual answer in a sense, it's like, I don't know. And you'll know from a coaching session or breakthrough session with me, I give you 3 I don't knows. Now you can use those all up in one go, but it's going to make the rest of the day a bit challenging, or you can save them up, like phone a friend, or 50-50 ask the audience, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. But when I know that I'm like, okay, I just need answers now, there's a particular way I will phrase it, and people always know in their heart of hearts, and they always know in their soul. And so that's what you're being invited to do, but you might have to sit with that and just to see what comes up and see what comes to mind. And there's also then going to be the practicalities of it as well. Oh, brilliant. So Sheila Max says boundaries has been a big thing for me this week. Perfect. And the knee was a fall at work, and since, and I haven't worked apart from my own stuff. I think it was about doing more of that too. Absolutely, because there's a saying, I've not yet determined who actually said it first, but I see it floating around on social media. I love it. It makes me laugh out loud. It says, let go or be dragged. And there are times where if you're not paying attention, the universe will literally throw you over. And I, you know, it's happened to me before. I was rushing to do something. It was a first day of snow. I was due to be running a corporate workshop at a local authority, like a government department for you guys in the United States, in London. And I'm like, oh, I don't even think it's going to be running, because, you know, looking at the weather, and so I'm trying to rush, and part of my brain's like, just calm down, just slow down, even if you're a little bit late, because I don't like to be late. If you're a little bit late, it's not going to matter. I didn't listen to that, and I slipped over. I swear to God, as I'm on the floor, my phone goes and says, hey, Marilyn, it's so-and-so from the Learning and Development Department. I hope you haven't left home yet, because I know you live outside of London. Just to let you know, we're postponing the workshop for today, so there's no need for you to come in. Now, I can see Watford Junction Station a few feet ahead of me, and I'm flat on my back. I'm like, great. So I put it in my pocket, I get up and I go home. But that wasn't the end of it, because I'd given myself whiplash and I didn't realise. But the whole, when I look back at it now, it was like about pacing yourself and not being so frenetic and not rushing. But for me to get that message, I was literally like, whoosh, thrown over. And so, yeah, and it was the big message to me with that one, it's about getting back into alignment. So ended up having to go and see my osteopath, because I actually had given myself a whiplash injury. So yeah, it's really interesting the way that the body gets our attention. But when it's got your attention, the invitation is now, are you going to listen? And what are you going to do about it? And we're not just going for, you know, we're not going for just speed necessarily, because this might be deeper work that needs to be done. It might be bigger things that you need to look at. It may be that boundaries and support and all the rest of it is not a new thing for you. It might be I'm not saying it is, but it could be potentially, and this is for other people listening as well, it could be that it's a repeating pattern, in which case no more sugar coating over it, no more kind of just putting like the one coat. It's like, let's get to the heart of this thing, so that metaphorically speaking, it doesn't need to keep tripping you up, and it doesn't need to keep flooring you. And kind of once you kind of get into it in that sort of thing, you'll probably find that some pretty miraculous things happen. And also with regards to relationships and communication and all the rest of it, those can miraculously start to you know, unfold as well. So yes. Coral said it's about moving forwards and not accepting crap. Brilliant. And it's not a new thing. Exactly. Yeah. And so I just say, you know what, you can take the hint, and you can take the hint whenever you want. You can take the hint straight away. And it's a bit, you know, Oprah talks about it as well. Lots of people talk about it. But I remember years ago on her show, she says at first, when, you know, there's a message for you, something you need to pay attention to, it's like a whisper. And then it's a little bit of a louder shout, and then it's like, oh my God, and then it's like a bosh, you know. And I found that oftentimes to be true, that it will come in layers, because oftentimes when I'm working with a client and I say, okay, this thing happened, it's a catalyst, or it's the root cause, it's this, what we call the significant emotional event that got your attention, so fell over at work or ended a relationship, that's significant emotional event. But then when I say to people, okay, just talk me through that, what was going on a couple of days, couple of weeks, and if it's something let's say like a bigger illness, cancer for example, or something like that, there's a period of time which is often 12 to 18 months before the manifestation and appearance of the illness itself. And when you say to clients what was going on at that time, or even what was going on in this time period, when they'll go nothing. And I go, okay, think about it. And I might even give them the calendar date and say, think back to this time, or look at your schedule. And they'll go, oh my God. And then they realize that there have been little things happening along the way, which maybe didn't seem that, you know, you kind of go, oh, you know, but you didn't pay much attention to it, didn't get your attention in that big a way. But when they look back at the timeline of it, it is absolutely fascinating. And you go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I would say hindsight is a wonderful thing. It's not about, oh my God, I this and that, because people then try and fall into the thing and they berate themselves. I'm like, no, it is what it is, and start where you are. The backstory is interesting, just to give us a little bit of, okay, what are we working with here? What are we dealing with? And what do we need to do to resolve this thing? That's all it's good for. We don't need to live there. We don't need to stay there. Now we're going to say, right, from where we are now, from what we've learned, what we know, and what we've seen as the trajectory of this thing, what are we now going to do differently in order to resolve it? And so always very interesting conversation. So thank you so much, Cole, for sharing. And Cole says another, oh my God, says, oh my God, yes, smashed it on concrete, knees give way, concrete doesn't. Absolutely. And Sita says this resonates so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sita Jones, you are most welcome. So yeah, okay, well, first outing for my coaching cards. So very happy. Well, I'm 80% happy with them. The text is definitely too small for my liking. I can read it, but I know everybody, you know, it could definitely do to be bigger. So when I print the next deck, because this is the prototype, so I'll take these to the Mind, Body, Spirit, Energy Fest workshop. I'm going to encourage you guys to have a play with them, and when I do the reprint, the text on the wording will definitely be a lot bigger. Oh yeah, I'm just saying oh yeah, because I just did, because I was so almost like in trance when I created them. I'm now seeing them and going, oh yeah, that's in there. But of course I couldn't go without adding the dance break, and I put in there just a little bit of the history of the dance break, because I came up with this idea in 1975. I was 7 years old, and so I put a little bit of the backstory to what I now call the hashtag dance break in there as well. And if there are messages I'm going to leave with you, this one that just catches my eye, it simply says, be more awesome. So you might also want to take that one into, you know, nurturing the body, brilliant. And if you wanted to also have that, if you're somebody who sets an intention for the week or for the month, then you might want to play with the thing of being even more awesome than you are. So our Coral says, thank you so much, Marilyn. Thank you, Coral, for sharing and being so open and for your wonderful feedback. So yeah, I'm pleased. I've got my coaching deck. I've got my first deck of cards. Yay! Yay, cool. I'm happy. I'm happy. So I'm going to take me to London with me. I'm just meeting the wonderful Sunny Olmo. We're going to go and do a little bit of running around town. So I'm going to take them, maybe do a reading for her. With these cards, if you're joining us for them, and if you wanted to join us for the Mind, Body, Spirit, Energy Fest, it's the year number 8 this year. It's www.mbsenergyfest.eventbrite.com. I'll add that into the conversation thread of the video. If you can, and actually, what I'll probably do, you can already book readings via my website. It's the angel/angel tarot card reading. So www.transformationstm.com/angel tarot card reading. So you can kind of book readings via that as well. Yeah, this is cool. I'm very happy. So yeah, so that's how you, and actually for those of you who are watching this in real time, there is it's slightly different depending on what it is, but generally speaking, there's 30% off if you're watching this today for Cyber Monday, because the readings I do by telephone or Skype, so they're online. So it's 30% off the Angel Tarot card readings. It's 30% off if you wanted to join the membership group as an annual member or a lifetime member. And so if you wanted to do a reading, you can either join the membership group and just get one every month free of charge, or you can book a reading. All of that, let me find that link for you. Cyber Monday, where are you? So yeah, those deals are on till tomorrow if you're watching this in real time. Of course, if you're watching this in a week's time, then completely ignore what I've just said. Until next year. Let's see. Cyber Monday. bit.ly/Cyber Monday transformation. So I will drop that into the conversation thread. So you can see the link there. I'd say start there. If you're watching this and you're watching it today, it's like Monday the 26th. If you're watching today or tomorrow, go to that website first before you go to the Bain Transformations website, because you get 30% off for Cyber Monday. That's also where you will find the deal for the photo reading kind of, you know, workshop, which is the world first. Because I've realized recently that not only is my running the photo reading video webinar version of the photo reading workshop the first time I've done it, but it's the first time anyone in the world has done it. And photo reading has been around for nearly 30 years. And so there's a link, you know, for that as well. And there's 30% off the photo reading workshop and 30% off the video webinar workshop. So, you know, all of that is on the Cyber Monday deals page, the Eventbrite page. So check that out if you're watching in real time and you'd like a reading. Sita Jones says they're lovely. Thank you so much. And Coral Jones says they're brilliant. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I am very, aside from the very small print, it looked way bigger on my screen. That's a note to self. And I, didn't have time for them to send over. What they'd normally do is like a promo, so you see one of the cards. But it is what it is. But I'm delighted to have got it done in less than 2 days, from zero, blank sheet of paper, blank screen, to ta-da, I've got my deck. So really, 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 really happy about that. And we'll do Tarot Tuesday readings next week using these cards. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Coral and Sita, for your shares and chatting and joining me. Thank you to everyone who's watching this video, both live, and thank you so much if you kind of sat through and watched the replay as well. That is amazing. Yeah, cool. And if you know anyone who might want to have fun with these or join us for the membership group or MBS, feel free to share this link with them. That would be awesome as well. So thank you for playing. And if you're in on my e-newsletter list, then next month I'll be looking for a volunteer to really give these a good run through. So just keep an eye on my e-newsletter list. Catch you all later. Bye bye.